Welcome back, everybody, to yet another Bold Biz Chats with Kim. And this will be the final Bold Biz Chats with Kim. And I've got my, I have a beautiful, beautiful tribe of people out there. I used to be able to say I had a beautiful tribe of women out there. And now we've got both genders in my tribe. And I have asked 5 of my very close peeps to join me today on a final show of Bold Biz Chats with Kim B. Smith. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going away. We're just going to take a hiatus for the remaining of the year because business is taking a little bit of a shift here, which that's what we're going to all be talking about today as we get rowdy and real here on Bold Biz Chats with Kate Gardner, Erica Kastner, Amy White, Sheila Kennedy, and Scott Doucette. And of course, we have the amazing Nesha, our producer, in behind the scenes. I think he should come out from behind the curtain. He's like the wizard in the Wizard of Oz. We need to drag him out today from behind the curtains. We are broadcasting live at Bold Radio Station. Big, huge shout out to the amazing team at Bold Radio. I love you all. You guys are amazing. You kick ass to get these shows up and out the door. I hope the whole team knows how appreciated they are. Anyways, let's jump on in. Hey, welcome everybody.
Hey, Kim.
What up?
Hey,
Hello.
Kim.
What's up?
Oh my God, there was hesitation there in everybody. I mean, I know this group is never quiet. What is the deal?
We're afraid of you.
Yeah. Yeah, right, Scott. Okay, I'm going to let's just jump right in, and one by one, we can just go around real quickly and say a little bit about ourselves so all the listeners know who's on this show, even though I've said everybody, and they can get to hear your voice, and we can jump into the conversation that we're going to have. Kate, why don't you begin, please?
Well, this show's all about me. Joking. Hi, everybody. My name is Kate Gardner. I am a 15 times best-selling author and editor of The Missing Piece magazine, and I am also a business partner with Kim B. Smith, and we are creating a book together by the end of the year. And yes, again, the show's all about me.
Oh my God, I forgot we were doing a book at the end of this year. Psych.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kate, you know what? I'll talk about how I know everyone on here and how I hold everybody so near and dear to my heart, all 5 of you. And there's plenty more out there, but we didn't have the space to bring everyone on. Miss Erica Kastner. Erica's just coming back from LA, and I think she's got her hands around her eyelids to stay awake. Girl, thanks for showing up today.
Well, I'm happy to be here. And originally, I thought I was actually flying today, but then my husband warned me that, hello, silly lady, you've got your calendar all messed up. That's actually the red eye that we're taking back. So it all worked out, and I could be here today. So thank you so much for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Erica, please.
Yeah. In a nutshell, I'm another radio show podcast host. Let's see. I am a ninja in terms of connecting and communicating leaders with the people that they want to connect with, and what do they want to say? How do they want to say it? And I'm just loving life. I just got back from Digital Footprint, which was a huge national conference for me, international conference. In fact, we had people from multiple countries. So it was really super fun to talk about the things that I talk about there. So that's why I just got back from LA. And again, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. We're just so glad that silly Erica Kastner messed up her schedule, and my hunka burning boyfriend husband of yours really pointed that out to you.
He's like, wait a minute, you could totally be on my girlfriend's show. It's totally fine.
That's my man. That is my man. Do not touch my man. That is my man. All right. Thanks, Erica. I'm so glad you could be here and you weren't traveling and all that great stuff, and you were back in time and all that good stuff. Thanks. Amy, could you please go next?
Yes, absolutely. Hey, everyone. I am a caregiver champion, a life coach, and an intuitive, and just released my second best-selling book, a memoir about my caregiving journey. And I work with caregivers and people in transition who are trying to pick up the pieces of a life crisis and move forward to thrive in their lives and not just survive. I'm super glad to be here. Thanks so much, Kim.
Oh, my pleasure, Amy. You were saying And my second bestseller, I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss that second book? Oh my God, I keep forgetting the first book of the book that I hosted that you were in. And then, of course, your second book is your solo book, which you rocked bestseller before you even got to the launching date because you did such great due diligence and worked hard at it. So, yeah,
Fun.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. That is cool stuff and a beautiful book, too. Sheila, you're welcome. Sheila, could you please go next?
Oh, sure. So I'm an author, and I am also the owner of the Zebra Inc., which is opening the doors of opportunity for authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs who want to share their story, but we want to create platforms and profits for them. We do it through publishing, marketing, and speaking platforms.
Yeah, you're the platform girl.
Yeah.
You're the black and white stripy platform girl, that zebra platform girl. I love it.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, my pleasure. And of course, the man of the group, last but not the least, Scott.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kim. Scotty here. I am the cock in the hen house, for starters. I know this isn't our R-rated show, but anywhere I go, the R follows me. The ugliest man on on Instagram.
You are not.
Well, I'll have you know, Katie and I are in a competition.
Oh my God. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah,
that.
I haven't done that for a while because I need to sell my magazine, you know. So
but I'm a podcast host. I run a weekly show called Podcast Bay where I help other podcasters just perfect their game and iron their stuff out. And I'm making a transition, so to speak, into more of a general social media realm. So that's basically what I do. If it's got anything to do with podcasts, I've probably got my finger on it somewhere.
Yeah, you do. I know. That's awesome. But you really have mastered that, Scott. And then now you're adding on and growing your business with the social media platform that you are adding on to. And I know you're already mastering that. I know you'll master it even more because you're just hungry and thirsty and ready to rock and roll and learn. Today, first of all, this is the last show. It's a final show, and I have other things up my sleeves for 2017. But anyways, let's talk about transitioning because I myself has transitioned quite a bit, like over the last several years in my business, not to mention just this year alone. And I've also been privy and honored to watch the five of you do a lot of transitioning with your business to grow, be better, and all that. So let's just jump on in and talk about the transition because, I hear out there, oh my God, once I arrive, my business will be perfect. And oh my God, I can't change because then I have to rebrand everything, which I personally believe is the furthest from the truth, so to speak. So anybody want to shirt tail that? Jump on in.
Well, first of all, I guess I'll jump in. Transition is necessary. It's one of the most necessary things that we have to go through. I mean, we're not the same people we were yesterday or a week ago, and we're not going to be the same people a week from now. And as we learn, we get new opportunities to build and help people and serve people. So if we didn't transition, we'd be doing a massive disservice to everybody we know.
I say, especially to ourselves, absolutely. So Scott, let's talk a little bit about, you have leveraged yourself as a podcaster, the go-to dude for podcasting, and you have the PDC, which myself and Erica are part of that group. You and Anthony have done an amazing job with that group. But you and I have conversations and you just, you feel there's more. So not only do you feel there's more with your business, geez, you pack up everything and move across a country to, you just got a lot going on, Scott.
Well, yeah. The PDC is great. I love it to death, but it's definitely not where my journey ends. The small town I lived in was definitely not serving me. Last year was a whole year of personal development, of relationship change, of business opportunity. So it was basically the beginning of it all is what it felt like, even though it had been growing for a while. And so what ended up happening is I jumped into the podcasting game last April. or the April before last, sorry, and started really getting my feet wet with it. And within a year, I had built a group alongside Anthony that was just amazing. But the more I stay in the group, like I learned a lot from it, but the longer I stay there, the more I have this itch that I need to scratch to learn other things and do other things and help more people. And what ended up happening is I met a girl. Well, I didn't meet her. We've known each other for 7 years, but we had never met face to face. But we started getting more serious and just starting to explore more the idea of actually dating. And she lived in Toronto. I live in New Brunswick. It was 2 provinces separated us. So I was getting sick of my small town, sick of the same faces, sick of the same business, sick of everything. And I realized that I hadn't been growing. I wasn't moving enough for my own liking. So the group was going well. I decided to put it on autopilot. I packed up my bags. I packed up everything that was at my house. I flew to Toronto. We packed up her stuff and moved her back to New Brunswick, but we chose a different city to live in. And once I got here, I took a look around, and like she was aggravated because she lived in a big city center, Toronto. She could find everything online. Here in the city we live in, it's like stuck in 2008. So I realized that a lot of what I learned from you ladies actually could be applied right here in my own backyard. And so I've decided that rather than just stick to podcasting, you know, that group is self-serving. Anthony has got it handled. I'm going to continue to be a presence there, but I'm going to transition to help people in my own backyard get their businesses a little more relevant online. And every time I made a choice to take a risk and grow a little bit, my life got happier, better. I found myself being more useful, more satisfied. And it's been one hell of an adventure, but it's also been an eye-opening experience and a hell of a lot of fun too.
You know, and Scott, before you made this decision, you know, you were milling this around a little bit. It's like, you know, it's like one of my analogies is that piece of caramel that you put in your mouth and you let it, you know, melt in the mouth. Oh, it's like melt in your mouth, not in your hands, that commercial. You know, that piece of caramel milling around in your mouth. And, you know, you literally decided to make ends meet. Not stepped away from your business, but you went and got a job job, and I don't mean jump out of bed job. I'm talking a job job for a couple of weeks, and you were just, I mean, that was for you, that was your rock bottom, so to speak, when you just said, screw this, man, this is no, and did that, and then came away and said, this is not working, and I need to make a complete 180-degree change, which you have done, which you're just, I mean, you're still in the process of it all, because you guys just, when did you get to your new apartment? Was it last week, or has it been 2 weeks now?
We got at the beginning of October. So like October 3rd, I think we unlocked the doors to this place for the first time.
Yeah. So it's amazing what we all do and go through as entrepreneurs. And things like that. Sit tight with those thoughts, Scott. Anybody else want to add to that? You know what? No, forget it. Kate, I'm picking on you.
I knew it. I thought, let me go into the background. She won't do it. I knew it. She'd be straight away.
I love it, and I hoped so.
You're mean. Okay,
so let me all introduce to the world here my rowdy friend Kate. Kate and I go back how many years now, Kate? We met in a book.
105 years ago.
But yes, and we met face to face finally in Ireland a few years ago. I just found some of those pictures, by the way, the other day. You know, we've been just very good friends. Our friendship took a little bit of a spill last year, but you know, we came back around and picked up right where we left off. But you and I are always there for one another. When things are up and when things are down, you know, when things come crashing in and when things go lifting up like a helium balloon. And for you, Kate, you took a couple months off this year. You didn't go completely MIA, but, you know, you took a major step. You took a crazy major step back, if you ask my opinion. I mean, you stripped wallpaper and sanded and redid your home. I'm like, okay, that's a great time off. But you stepped away from the business and came back freaking stronger than ever, man.
Yeah, I took five months away from the online industry because last year I was a publisher. I was an international publisher, and I was publishing books for people, and I published a book series. And I got to a point where I was extremely unhappy. I was really unhappy because I seemed to be on a hamster wheel, and I was just going round and round and round doing the same shit, same day kind of stuff. And I just got so irritated because I wasn't growing. I wasn't, doing bigger things. I wasn't going on to do better things. My heart was not singing no more. And a person who was close to me, who worked with me, completely stabbed me in the back, which led me to the point where I was just like, I've had enough of this. This is driving me nuts. I'm going to just walk away from this, have some time off, and decide what I want to do with my life. So I did. I took 5 months out, redecorated my home. It was awesome. And then came back with a bigger, better goal. I had the vision to wake up one morning and quit all publishing, stop publishing all books, become a publishing consultant, and then launch a magazine. But not any online magazine. It had to be a self-discovery, interactive, digital magazine that was like a little coaching program that would be released every month into the world so it could change lives.
And the magazine is beautiful, Kate.
Yeah, thank you. And I didn't have an idea. I didn't have a clue I was going to do it. I just knew that I was going to have it done, that I was going to have 1 million readers in 2 years. I was going to have all the covers filled with 6, 7, 8, 9-figure earners. And I was going to have a team of people writing for it. I didn't have a clue how I was going to do it. I didn't even know how to do graphic design. I sat down for 10 weeks consistently and really, really worked my skills, up to my skills, learned graphic design, learned everything about magazines, learned everything about headlines and selling more magazines. And we are here today with a year's worth full of cover people who are no more than six-figure earners, 7-figure earners, 8-figure earners, multimillionaires. So I've got all my covers filled for a year. I have a complete team. I have a magazine that's already done. 1 issue is complete. We're working on the 2nd issue now. In the 2nd issue, the subject is forgiveness, and it is a bumper issue. And we have major, major people sharing their stories in there, like 6 times Emmy Award winners, Discovery Channel producers, that kind of thing. Now, I woke up in May 2017 and said, I'm just going to change my life. I've come back after 5 months off. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to launch a magazine and consult publishing instead. It turned my life around. Was I petrified? Yes, I was. Did I have the skills to do it? No. Did I see the full staircase? No. I just took a leap of faith and the rest of it appeared.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how it all works too. Really, that's truly how it works. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's been fun to be behind the scenes with Kate, watching her learn the whole platform from A to Z, soup to nuts on an online magazine, from the graphics to everything. I mean, she's learning everything. Talk about mastering that. It's really cool, fun to watch. Erica, Amy, or Sheila, do any of the 3 of you want to add? Because I know there's been some beautiful transitions with the 3 of you, and I mean stunning, beautiful transitions.
Oh, I'd love to add, Kim. This is Amy. These stories are amazing because as I'm listening to Scott and I'm listening to Kate and I'm thinking about my own personal story, which really leads up to us meeting, right? 2 years ago, I was almost 3 years ago now. I was in an executive corporate job and not a jump out of bed. And I realized after 20 plus years of climbing the corporate ladder that the ladder I had climbed was leaning against the wrong wall. I had gotten to the top of the ladder and I looked around and I thought, what the heck? What is this that I've been working so hard for? It's certainly not anything that filled my well, filled my soul, brought me passion. And I made a huge decision, like Kate was just sharing. I decided to leave the job. I didn't have another corporate position lined up, but I knew that there were things in my life that brought me passion. The coaching and the intuitive work that I had been doing kind of as a side hustle, along with my corporate job, really was the thing that brought me such enjoyment and such fulfillment in my life. And so I wanted to figure out, how do I take that along with this 2 years plus crisis that I had gone through with my son just a couple of years before. And how did I take those things and package something that I could, sort of put out into the world that would help and serve and bring, more light and more support out to people who had experienced, trials and tribulations and challenges in their own lives. And so I did. I took a jump. I quit my job. I gave 2 weeks notice and pretty much walked away and into the unknown. And then just a few months later, I packed up my entire house and I drove 3,000 miles from the east coast of the U.S. to the west coast of the U.S. to start again, really launch my business, to build new communities. And just as Scott said, I found this place where I could grow again, because the small town that I was living in, I felt really stagnant. I felt like I hadn't, there wasn't much more that I could do there to really evolve to my next level.
Isn't that a debilitating feeling?
Yeah.
It's a debilitating feeling. And it was one, I'll tell you, almost in retrospect, I knew I was stagnant there, but it wasn't until I got out and looked back that I realized how I was really stuck. And how if I had stayed there, I wouldn't have been able to create this platform and this business that I am now, deeply entrenched in.
Yes, and you're walking your true, you're walking your talk and talking your walk, and it's like I say, it's all five of you are in a an alignment like Kim Smith wears her yoga pants. They fit, they're comfortable, they're awesome, they're wonderful, they stretch. That's my analogy for the moment. Because, I talk in analogies, but yeah, and Amy, it's been wonderful. It was so cool when you were traveling across the country, you were, blogging and keeping up. And I personally felt like I was in the car with you guys. I was in the back seat with your dog, with you guys, because it was so neat on how you were keeping us all abreast of everything that was going on. So that was a lot of fun with all of it. But it feels like you never lived on the East Coast, even though I know you did. It just feels like you never have lived, only because I met you right around the time that you were going to move, shortly after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a hard time remembering, feeling that I lived there as well, even though I spent the majority of my life there. I think that there's just great. Everyone has these places that they're meant to be. And sometimes it's the hometown that you grew up in. And sometimes it's not, and I think that's the beauty of being in transition too. It could have been, very easily that I could have gotten out here to Northern California and thought, like, what the heck did I just do? And nothing, may have come together. But for me, it was like dominoes. It was like once I decided to make this second huge leap, so like quitting my career wasn't enough, but now I was going to pick up and move, to the farthest point in the country that I could, pretty much. But the dominoes started to fall, and that's how I know. You use the word like in alignment. That's how I know I'm in alignment, because things just start to connect. And it was literally like from the day I decided to make this move to the day I pulled up in front of my new home was 11 weeks. And I sold a house and I packed up a house and I launched my website, and we launched the Bold is Beautiful book, Kim, together, all in the midst of it. And I found housing, and like all of it just lined up. And I knew this might be the craziest thing that I could possibly think about doing, but it was so right. I couldn't deny it. And I think that's the thing about transitions. It's listening to your intuition, your gut, your, whatever term you use. When you say this feels right, even if it doesn't seem logical or rational, and then you go and then you do it.
Does that apply to the puppy that I just got? Because I'm ready to give her back.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Oh, I love her so much, but she's a puppy.
She's a rebel like her
Oh my
mommy.
God, we're starting to see that. We are literally, it'll be we've had her, it'll be 4 weeks, I think, this coming up Saturday. She'll be 3 months old. And then we're just starting to, she goes outside and I'm like, come on, Luna, come on in. And she's like, she'll sit down and look at me. And I'm like, okay, you know what? You're too little and you're not even old enough to start being sassy and stubborn like that. And I go get the leash and I drag her and come, Luna. It's like, oh my God, it's the boss of the bossiness between Mama and Luna. All right, enough of the
Kim,
puppy.
Kim, it's Erica. I gotta get you with my trainer. It's a national organization, and it's been phenomenal with Mr. Augie.
Oh, that's my other boyfriend too, by the way. You have a home of boyfriends of mine.
I know, right? He's
Yeah,
a
do.
love.
Yeah, he is. He really
I was
is.
going to say, Kim, that just sounds like the relationship you've probably had with the majority of us.
Yeah, it is. I take you all on. I love you dearly. What can I say?
I think we should all go move in.
Oh,
Let's all go to Kim's and move in and have fun.
there's not enough furniture, but you can certainly come move in. I'm going to. It's Sheila and Erica have not spoken yet, and so I want to open that platform up. And I mean, I could shout out one of the two of yous, but I'll sit back for a moment here. And who would like to take the mic on the topics that we're talking about?
Erica, you can go if you want.
Oh, well, thank you, Sheila. You're so nice.
Okay, girl.
Well, as I'm listening to everybody's transition story, to really kind of simplify this, and I don't want to overstate what's already been said, but I just got back from California, and it was so funny because on my Facebook feed, how the photos come back like, oh, on this day, right? So 2 years ago, my husband and I rolled up into LA for the very first time, and we had committed to going to like a train the trainer conference, because we wanted to be better presenters. And my husband was transitioning his insurance business at the time. I was getting ready to launch my consulting practice, but I was still working my job, so nobody knew what was going on in the community. But I felt like in LA, if I went out there and promoted that, or at least talked about it, at least that it wouldn't be a big deal. But as my husband and I were thinking about, okay, our trip to LA, we're going to go out there a couple of days. He wanted to meet some strategic partners out there that were going to be in his new space with his insurance business. And they all canceled. So here we were 2 days before. I mean, we come in 2 days early so we can have these 3 meetings. And then, we were like, oh my gosh, we came out here, spent all this extra time and money. We could have just come out here the day before and then, gone to the conference. And it was just this really ego check, well, what are we doing? And we didn't even have a car. We didn't even rent a car. We were so afraid of 405 traffic, no way. And today, here it is in 2016, 2 years, I actually have done some amazing things out in that market. My husband and his partners have actually coordinated an awesome mastermind event. There were 45 people fighting through the debate, fighting through the World Series playoffs, and coming to this networking event for my husband, but it was all in the professional athlete space. So here we are today, we're making all these connections, doing all these crazy things. I'm speaking at this, at a different conference, and it's amazing what has happened and transformed in the last 2 years. We went from not knowing what the hell we were doing and scared to death to even rent a car to drive on the 405 to now, we don't even need navigation to get us around town. And we live 3,000 miles away, but my husband has one of the most impressive networks because he's worked his ass off to get it. And by default, I mean, just some of the things that I've been doing and connecting, it's just been very powerful. So transitions are happening all around. It just takes daily action and knowing what you want and then being able to figure it out from, the daily action steps that you're taking to make it happen.
they had to be pretty, a little scary too for Ed. I mean, you were still in the, I can't believe it's only been 2 years. It seems, first of all, it seems like I've known you longer than that, Erica, and it seems longer than you've left your job. And it's fun to watch you leverage, and there's that word again, Scott, literally leverage your previous job has really like springboard you into this where you are now 2 years later. And, and that's got to be scary for Ed too, taking those huge risks, in the insurance business like that, of tapping into markets that he's worked his ass off, and he's got daughters with educations, and, he's got a lot of, commitments, to take those risks too as well. But those risks that he's taken are going to are paying off and will continue to pay off hugely because he's tapped into a very niche market. But I think, before we turn this microphone over to Sheila, I want to reiterate on all of this. Okay, everybody listening, and this is my last show, so I get to say this. It takes fucking time. I dropped the F-bomb. I have not dropped the F-bomb in several days. I'm proud of myself. It takes time. And everyone thought Scott and I got down and dirty on Wednesdays. We can get down and dirty here on Mondays. It takes so much time. I was talking Saturday evening, we were out to dinner, and I went, oh my God, November will be 4 years. I launched Bold Radio Station with just my show. Because it was I had no clients, just my show. And I'm not technically savvy. I don't have a media, journalism degree.
You have Nesha.
I didn't have Nesha then either. I did not have Nesha back then. I had Kim Smith is what I had. And boy, that was funny. Yes. And Nesha is in behind the scenes laughing at that comment. No, it took me a while to arrive to Nesha, but I took a huge risk launching that in November. And then after working it hard all of November, December, and behind the scenes over the Christmas holidays, we took on the first clients in January. And it was a bumpy road in the beginning. It really was a bumpy road, but it's taken time to arrive to where I am now. And I'm getting ready to make some more transitions. Cannot wait. I'm doing some stuff here in my backyard. Can't wait. Exciting things. Sheila, I want to give the microphone to you, my friend.
Well, I don't even know what to say because, the transition is always going on. So I think that, what it really is about evolving, right? And we find a place where we get comfortable in the definition of who we are and our identity. And then we realize that there might be something more that we can add or do. And that's the growth piece, right? So, I'm constantly in that evolution process. I really rarely like to be in the status quo for very long. So I feel like my life is always in transition. But yeah, I've had some major transitions in 2016. And December of 2015, I released a book, one that Kim was in actually, and did a little spotlight for her. But talking about confident entrepreneurs, and the role I played in the world was the confidence coach for 3 or 4 years, and it was not a very comfortable position because there's a lot of people that would run in the opposite direction when I walked into a room because they couldn't be associated with somebody who was trying to teach about confidence. And so that was really hard, and I was not in a place. I came upon that role because I didn't have any. And I needed to figure out how to get it so that I could try and make something of this entrepreneurship thing that, I thought I could do. And so it was a real struggle. And after I launched the book, I went into a real funk, and it did not yield me the results that I thought it was going to. And I was really questioning, what was going on and who I was and what I wanted to do. And I was coming back from a trip in California. I was a keynote speaker at a conference there, and I was ready to just be done. And I was ready for it to be easy, and I didn't want to struggle anymore. I didn't want to play this game anymore, and much like all of you. And so I was like, okay, if this plane doesn't land, I'll be all right, because I didn't want to play that anymore. And so I came home, and I thought, well, obviously I'm here for a reason, and there must be something more I can do. So I'm going to go get a job. So I tried to put together a resume, and I tried to submit, and that didn't work for all but a minute. And I realized there was something else I needed to do. And so I thought about, well, if I could write my own ticket, what would it be? What would I really do in this world? And, ended up reorganizing my business to help publish, help with messaging, help with marketing. And that's really what I had been doing for a long time. I just didn't promote that, and so y'all just get a new version of, somebody to help you through telling the story. And whether that's as an entrepreneur, because you can't figure out why your ideal audience is not coming to you and you don't have a platform big enough. You want to launch books and write books, but you don't have anybody to sell them to. And, those kinds of things. So that's what I decided to do. And as I started to do that and started to market that and really step into that role, the results have been outstanding. And, so I'm really having a lot of fun, and it's still in the redefining stages as always, but I'm having a ball with the people that I get to help be bigger in this world. And, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty satisfied with where I am and what I'm doing.
Sheila, it's interesting because you came to me a few years ago when you were putting together that book and said, called me, and I feel like I remember this. It was just like yesterday. I was pulling up into my clients for my fitness business, pulling up to my client's home, and I'd like to interview you. This is choices to change is confident entrepreneur, and I'm like, wow. I mean, I think you brought me to tears. I mean, you really rocked my world with that invite, and from there on, our relationship has been ever evolving. And I remember one time having a conversation with you, and you started talking about, it was like, as easy as I drink water, you were talking about this marketing and this platform and all of this. And I just went, oh my God. And, and I still really didn't know you well enough, but you were still working through I call it the huge tsunami that we can all get into, that tsunami. And we know that when the storm settles, there's sun on the other side, and it's major pivotal growth for all of us. You were still in that tsunami. And I said to you, now I see, how you make entrepreneurs become confident. It's with that platform, I don't know if you ever remember that conversation. That was a long time ago. That was a while ago. Yeah. And little by little, you started rising up to get above that tsunami. And hence, this was your major, major year after launching that book. This is your major year. And all of a sudden, you're all about the zebras and the stripes of the zebras. And all of a sudden it was the zebra ink. And this is what it is. And it's now your business is literally like Kim's yoga workout attire. It's just like second skin is what it is. It's very comfortable. So, it's been fun to watch all five of you, how I've gotten to know you. And Erica Kessner, refresh my memory. How did we meet? I know it was on social media, but how did we meet?
Well, yeah, we met like in a Facebook group, and you were at the time was starting the collaborative group of women, and invited me to have a conversation with you about that. And we just hit it off like we were in the same city, and I think we secretly want to move into each other's houses. Although if you didn't live where you live, I would probably take you up on that invitation. But half of the year it's really, really cold. It's like flipping cold. So get down to my hood, sister.
All right, I'll be down there to visit you again. Because
we won't get much done. I mean, like that's the thing. We probably would have way too much fun and not focus too much on work. But
well, that's exactly. I mean, I think I've been to Rochester, New York, for Sheila's event, and we got quite a bit done. But we were also able to eat, drink, and be merry, and remove business off to the side. I spent an entire week in Ireland with Kate, and then also saw Kate. How long ago was that, Kate? In the Detroit airport, you had a layover, and of course, I flew down there to see you.
That was last year.
that last year. Gosh, time flies.
Yeah.
And then Amy, it was a year ago in September. I was out in Northern California and spent a half a day with you. Oh my God, that was absolutely wonderful. Erica, I was down in Florida last March. We'll be heading down there next year to see Patty and Jeff again, our friends, and definitely you and Ed will be involved. And Scott,
we have to go skydiving.
There you go. There you go. I got the tickets on hold. Come on down. I got the tickets on.
With no underwear.
No underwear. We're going skydiving.
Oh my God! And here we go. So with all of us sharing this transitional,
sharing a lot of things.
Sharing a lot. Yeah, exactly. The no underwear and everything. I want to say, the rock bottoms that we hit, are real. I mean, they are real. They're not bullshit. They're not BS. And that's, by the way, a little plug for our book that's come out in December. They are rock bottoms, but it's what we do with this rock bottom. And I don't mean to sound cliche-ish, but to sum it up, because, we are on time limits here, is what we do with the lemonades and how we make the, the lemonades. And, I think one of the hardest lessons that I'm learning this year is, and I think Kate and Sheila can really laugh at this and just go, yeah, sure. Is we don't always, and I don't need to have it all figured out. And I have a personality, you better damn well believe I need to have it all figured out. I need to have the next moves in place. I need to know left, right, forward, back, which way am I going and where am I going and the time and da-da-da-da. Part of my control freak and my anxiety that I live with. And that has been one of my things, to be able to be quiet, step back, be quiet, and be okay with not knowing what directions are going to be next, and to allow. And like I said, Sheila and Kate, I think Amy knows a little bit about me. What the hell? You guys all know that about me. Jeez, Pete, you've heard a little bit, if not a lot of that for me is, I don't like that, but it's okay. It doesn't mean that we as business owners, as entrepreneurs, that we're failures. I mean, God, when Kate took time off earlier this year, she never took time off from, of course, spending some time, talking with me and stuff, but she took time off and she did not know what her next steps was. She was fine with that. It was like a mirror helping me look at that, Kate. Because first of all, I had no idea by the end of this year I would be sitting here going, what's next? Really, what's next? And that's okay to put, radio shows on hiatus until the first of the year, and just to take some deep breaths and care for oneself and potty train a puppy. I'm too old for this. And things like that it is okay to do that. It is okay to do that. It's okay to show up with a smile on your face and jump up and down for joy. And it's okay also to show up with tears in your eyes and feeling a little, wavered, if so to speak, or, a little off with the structure. It is okay. I know we have all been there. We've all been there, and we've all have done that. And I don't think we're done. I don't think we complete a lot of that.
Oh no, there's still more drama to come. There's still more tears, more frustration, more, falling out with yourself. There's all of that to come, because we're always constantly evolving. We're always constantly reshaping and then transitioning into something else. If you're not, then you're just stagnant.
Yes, absolutely.
And I hate to sound like a cliche again, but it's when you go through all those frustrations and the heartache and the changes and slamming your face against concrete because you can't figure out your next move. You don't know where you're going. When you have your victories on the tail end of all of the risks you made and the sacrifices you made, they're that much sweeter too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. You guys, we have about 10, 15 minutes left to the show. And I would like everyone to know that is listening, how they can all get in touch with you. So go ahead, Kate, if you could let everyone know how they can get in touch with you.
Yep, sure. They can get in touch with me through Facebook, Kate Gardner, or they can visit the magazine website at www.themissingpiecemagazine.com.
And a beautiful magazine that shall all be to the eyes come January.
I know.
Yes. Kate is so organized behind the scenes. She's really changing it up from going from the publishing to this magazine. And I'm one of the monthly contributing writers, and I want you to know I've already submitted 2 articles. I've submitted January and February's articles for those issues already. I'm just so impressed the organization and just everything that's involved behind the scenes, Kate. It's really nice.
Thank you. Well, if you're not organized, you're just overwhelmed. That's what I see it as. If you're not organized, you're going to get overwhelmed and it's going to stress you out. So it's easier just to be well organized.
Yes, indeed. Erica, where can everyone get in touch with you?
Well, my website's called thequeenofresults.com, but I have a rock star community over in Facebook land, the Power Moms in Business. So there's a lot of engagement over there. Kim, you're a member. So it's super exciting. So that's probably the best way to track me down is in that community.
Yeah, and that's a great community, by the way, Erica. You have been very on top of that community. I know you don't just let anybody in there, and you've got some very nice engagement going on there, and there's a lot of connections going on there. It's been a very nice group. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Amy White, how can we get in touch with you?
The best way to get in touch with me is through my website at farfromparadise.org. And there you can find all of the information about the social media channels that I'm participating on. My Facebook community is there. There's information about my new book, Closer to Paradise, A Mother's Journey Through Crisis and Healing, and my contact information to email or call.
Amy, for everybody that's listening, whether you are a mom, a dad, because I'm not a parent I'm not a parent to a human being. I'm a parent to 2 dogs. I'm also a parent to a husband sometimes, and I know some of you can all relate to that. But anyways,
yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So please,
afraid not.
Yes. For all of you listening, please reach out there and get your hands on Amy's book. I've had my hands on a lot of books. I'm a very, very, very particular reader. I was just having this conversation with Erica the other day, and it's like, oh my God, if you cannot grab my attention, the book is going down. And then I'm only reading a sentence at a time. It takes me forever to get through a book. But with Amy's book, I felt like I was the mom going through what you were going through, Amy. And that's skill. That is more than just skill. That's a God-given talent to be able to write like that. And I had to keep turning those pages because I knew that there was a solution and there was a remedy over that big, huge tsunami that you were in. So I had to keep turning because I knew, like I said, I felt like I was the one going through it. And not to take away from you, Amy, or to minimize, but you, as the author, you made me as the reader feel like I was walking your shoes. And it is an amazing book. And people, you do not have to have children to get this book and to read this book. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book. And there's a really intense message in that book that Amy, you're repetitive about, that you talk about. And it's an ongoing challenge with all women. Sorry, Scott, but it's an ongoing challenge with all women.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book. Sheila, how can everyone get in touch with you?
Probably the best way is through my website, which is thezebrainc.com. And you can find out all kinds of cool stuff, including the authors that we now get to help bring their message into the world.
Woohoo! And you helped. You republished my 2 books, my 2 Bold is Beautiful books, because we had some issues with a former publisher. And so I turned to Sheila and said, please, I need help. And out the door we went.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Proud to be on that platform. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Scott.
Yeah, you can get in touch with me. If you want to see my masterpiece, it's the Podcast Discovery Center on Facebook. It's a group for podcasters, one of the most engaged groups I've ever been in, honestly. And I'm pretty surprised that I had anything to do with it because it grew so fast and so engaging. So I love it. But outside of that, you can catch me on Twitter at podcast_bay, or you can catch me on Facebook, facebook.com/podcastbay.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Scott. So, we have about 8 minutes left. Let's just cut it loose here, everybody. I mean, what last words do you want to say on this show? And don't hold back. I say don't hold back. I've got Kate Gardner sitting on the edge of her chair, and same with Scott, who never hold back. I mean, good Lord. I mean, just don't hold back. Anything you all want to add to this show to everybody that is listening?
Yes, if you want to see a naked skydiver, go watch Scott.
Oh my
I'll make
God,
sure
Scott,
you're there, Kate.
look what you have started, Scott. That is so funny.
I want to jump in and say that, Kim, I am so pumped and grateful to you and to everyone you've introduced me to, first of all, but for having me on the Down and Dirty show and getting me out co-hosting on live radio. It's been an eye-opening experience for one. Getting the chance to say cockfight on the air in an animal rescue episode was one of my favorite moments. Of course, meeting Katie Poo and hearing about the Kimba Katie Poo dynamic. But it's been an insane year, and it's been one of the most extraordinary years of my life. I've learned so much and gained a ton of confidence. And I'm looking forward to hearing some of the behind the scenes of what you're doing next.
Ooh. Time will tell. Time will tell. Time will tell. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Scott. That's really nice. Yeah, you're so easy to introduce people to and to support because you're so hungry. You show up all the time. I mean, you just show up strong and proud, and 100% you show up.
I still have to write something for Kate, though.
Oh my God, that clock is ticking. Anybody else want to throw in there anything of anything?
Well, Kim, it's Amy. I just wanted to throw in, again, thank you for having this call and for bringing us all together. But, just on the subject of transitions, I think it's super important that, we've talked a lot about transitions in our business and what's led us to where we are today. And we've also shared some of our personal transitions. And I think that's really important, whether we're on the entrepreneur track or not, that life is a series of transitions, and it's a series of rock bottoms, and it's a series of pulling ourselves up out of the ashes and making that choice to create new, better, stronger, more powerful who we are. As a result. And so many people get stuck in that process. They get stuck in their bottom, or they get stuck in that coming out of the muck. And I love this because this is so enlightening and empowering to hear these stories of how, and we're not the only ones, right? There's so many of us out there that have, that are consciously making the choice to navigate, as hard as it is sometimes, our personal and professional transitions. So
Yes.
Kudos to everybody, and what a great topic.
Yeah, thank you very much. And that's very true, Amy. It is. It is really true. I was at this event this past Saturday here in Detroit, and one of the speakers was talking about, hire yourself a coach, a business coach. But before you hire yourself a business coach, vet that person. Check their credentials, check this, check that. And I'm sitting there thinking, no, because anybody, of course, vet the person you're thinking about hiring, but it's not just about credentials. Get to know that person, have some conversations with that person, and try to discover and receive the character of judgment. Because my big thing with coaches, and there's 20 coaches on every street corner, like there is with lawyers and doctors, with any profession, and a lot of professions that are bastardized. But with coaches out there, the best coach that I could talk about, which I look at all 5 of you, is the coach, and I'm going to remove that room, the human being that goes out in the backyard and cleans up their own shit, admits to hitting rock bottom to be able to turn themselves up, admits to taking risks and being scared out of their pants, but goes forward. Those are credentials that we cannot receive from any brick and mortar university. Those are life wisdom credentials. And so that's what I want to say about all 5 of you. The transparency, for lack of a better word, because that word is thrown around too much, transparency, is so beautifully and astounding among all 5 of you. So that's why I turn when I need a mastermind soundboarding group or just a swift kick in my tushy. I turn to the 5 of you. You are part of my tribe, and you're very honest, trustworthy, and you're there. You're there, and you give sound advice. You don't just bullshit me along, and nor would any of you do that. So, yeah, that's a beautiful thing for all those people out there that are listening. Look, think about something like that when you're going to step into a group to become a tribe of a group or to hire somebody.
Well, Kim, this
My
is
favorite
Erica.
coaches are the ones who offer 7 figures in 30 days. Those are the ones. I love those.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Those are my favorite too. Absolutely.
Sorry, Erica.
I know, right? Why are you trying to steal my thunder over here, Scott? Seriously. No, I mean, Kim, you and I have had so many conversations around that aspect, but I think what's really cool about, this evolution that this new chapter of your life, it is about exploring and not being afraid to peek behind the curtain and see what's next. And then not being afraid to say, you know what, like the chapter or the path that I've been on, it's not serving where I'm at right now in my moment. I think so many people out there feel like they've got to cling on to dear life for all these things that no longer serve them. So if you can just separate yourself from the stuff that it takes focus, it takes discipline, it takes dedication, but separating yourself from the junk that no longer serves you and move on to things that do, and surround yourself with rock stars that are going to help you get there, then it'll be amazing what transforms for any of us. So Kim, thank you for inviting me on this journey with you. It's been a fun ride, and it's been fun to get to know the rest of the tribe on the show today as well. Of course, Kate and I, I can totally see that's becoming BFFs before too long.
I think too is that, as I think we've all demonstrated in some way, shape, or form that, we can step out. And our egos tell us that if we step out, that the marketing and all of this stuff is going to destroy our careers. It's going to ruin our reputations. We're not going to have, following and all this other stuff. And I think, though, when we step out to redefine what we are, the earth actually still spins. And it doesn't, stop spinning because we're not present, and that we get to show up better if we give ourselves that time. I mean, Kate is a perfect example of that. She stepped out for 5 months. I mean, for most people, they would never think about doing it for that long, right? I stepped out for a week and almost had, like a heart attack. And, I think that, but she came back. She's bigger, better, more focused, has a fantastic future lined up. But because she was willing to step back and explore and just be okay. So Kim, if that's what you need to do, amen to that. The world will still spin, and they'll be waiting with open arms when you come back on the scene.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That goes to everybody out there listening. It is okay to take a deep breath and step away and make change and transition. All right, we've got 2 minutes left. Anybody else? One final last words or multiple last words?
I love you.
Okay, thank you. And then make sure you're on the plane from the UK over here for Christmas to Michigan. I'll pick you up at the airport.
Okay. Yes, boss.
Yes.
She sounded terrified.
No, because I want to go back home.
At Christmas.
As long as you know that I won't go back home. That's it. I'll just move in. That is it.
Okay, well, there's a room and a bathroom upstairs. Go ahead, move in.
Hey, you're giving away my room again. What's up with that?
Oh yeah.
Where am I supposed to live? Is it? You promised that room to everybody, don't you?
Yeah, don't I? Rotation.
I feel so lied to.
Everybody that comes to my house, let me just say these last words. I have a puppy. I have a puppy. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me today, and everybody out there listening in. reach out to these magnificent 5 people. Track their S. Oh, we have a 6th person there. Nesha, we love you. Our producer, my producer here. Nesha, we love you. We love you. He is the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain, making this go today. Everybody listening, please reach out to these 5 people. Track them down if you don't already know them. If you do know them, get to know them better. They're amazing, amazing peeps. They bring so much to the table. They make my life complete. You all need to move in with me now by saying that. You all need to move in with me. So, Scott, you're my baby biz brother. Anyways, everybody, thank you for listening to us live at Bold Radio Station. Get out there and make it a great week. Knock it dead. We're coming into the holidays. We're wrapping up 2016. Don't freaking panic. Good God, we're just going into a new year here. Just have your focus set, your goals on sight, and all that great groovy stuff. And if you don't, you heard everyone say, the world still revolves. No one's going to die, whatever. So go ahead and tune in to all the other shows at Bold Radio Station. I'll see you back around after the first of the year, a little bit of a hiatus, and make it a great, phenomenal day.